Good morning. Today is Thursday, May 30th, 2024, and this daily bread is titled, Following God, Not the World. It's from 1 Samuel chapter 8, verses 1 through 22, and the key verse is verse 7, and it says, And the Lord told him, Listen to all that the people are saying to you. It is not you they have rejected, but they have rejected me as their king. When Samuel grew old, he appointed his sons as Israel's leaders. The name of his firstborn was Joel, and the name of his second was Abijah, and they served at Beersheba. But his sons did not follow his ways. They turned aside after dishonest gain and accepted bribes and perverted justice. So all the elders of Israel gathered together and came to Samuel at Ramah. They said to him, You are old, and your sons do not follow your ways. Now appoint a king to lead us, such as all the other nations have. But when they said, Give us a king to lead us, this displeased Samuel. So he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord told him, Listen to all that the people are saying to you. It is not you they have rejected, but they have rejected me as their king, as they have done from the day I brought them up out of Egypt until this day, forsaking me and serving other gods. So they are doing to you. Now listen to them, but warn them solemnly, and let them know what the king who will reign over them will claim as his rights. Samuel told all the words of the Lord to the people who were asking him for a king. He said, This is what the king who will reign over you will claim as his rights. He will take your sons and make them serve with his chariots and horses, and they will run in front of his chariots. Some he will assign to be commanders of thousands and commanders of fifties, and others to plow his ground and reap his harvest, and still others to make weapons of war and equipment for his chariots. He will take your daughters to be perfumers and cooks and bakers. He will take the best of your fields and vineyards and olive groves and give them to his attendants. He will take 1/10 of your grain and of your vintage and give it to his officials and attendants. Your male and female servants and the best of your cattle and donkeys he will take for his own use. He will take 1/10 of your flocks, and you yourselves will become his slaves. When that day comes, you will cry out for relief from the king you have chosen, but the Lord will not answer you in that day. But the people refused to listen to Samuel. No, they said, we want a king over us. Then we will be like all the other nations, with a king to lead us and to go out before us and fight our battles. When Samuel heard all that the people said, he repeated it before the Lord. The Lord answered, Listen to them and give them a king. Then Samuel said to the Israelites, Everyone go back to your own town. Daily bread. First, the danger of conforming to the world. The Israelites demanded a king, wanting to be like the other nations around them. Instead of trusting God's unique plan for them, they were influenced by the world. Their decision resulted from their desire to fit in rather than stand out as God intended. In our lives, let's reflect on areas where we might be conforming to social pressure or cultural expectations at the expense of our spiritual values. Whether it's in how we spend our time, our dreams, or even our career choices, we should consider if they align with God's call for us to be different. 2 Corinthians 5:1 says, For we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands. Let's remember that this world is not our true home and put our hope in eternity. When we focus on our eternal home, we can begin to live with confidence. We can challenge ourselves to make choices that reflect our identity as children of God and not just follow the crowd. Are you putting your hope in this world or in your eternal home in heaven? Second, understanding God's sovereignty. God allowed Israel to have a king, but not without warning them of the consequences. This shows that while God allows us to make choices, He also makes clear the consequences of those choices. When making important decisions, we should seek God's guidance first rather than moving by our own judgment. We should consider if we're making God a part of our decision-making. Before jumping into relationships, academic pathways, or career moves, we're called to seek God through prayer and evaluating whether our choices align with God's word. Although God's plan might not always go along with worldly wisdom, it promises us greater fulfillment and purpose. 1 John 2:17 says, "The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever." Will you chase after the temporary things of this world or eternal things from God? Let's choose to put our hope in God. Prayer. Lord, help me to recognize and resist the pressure to conform to the world. Teach me to seek your will above all else, knowing that you are the ultimate king and authority in my life. Guide me in making decisions that glorify you and lead me on the path that you have set for me. One word: God is my true King.